Good morning, with a gracious and inclusive welcome to Honorable Chancellor, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, respected Dean, Head of the Department, dear ladies and gentlemen, and all dear recent academicians. I, Dr. Aditi Gaur, Associate Professor on behalf of School of Commerce and Management, am very pleased to be here today for organizing our webinar, Money Laundering and its impact on society. With special money laundering has become a serious issue, and it's definitely a hindrance to the economic growth of a nation. It has become an unethical way to hide the illegal acquired money. It's applicable almost in every domain, but here we are going to talk about industry, where the ways of Mafia and underworld, and definitely it is going to give a negative impact on the society also. Before I give a brief introduction of our key speaker, let's bow to the goddess of knowledge, wisdom, speech, and learning, Ma Saraswati. श्वेता श्वेतांबरधरा नित्या श्वेत गंधानुलेपना श्वेताक्ष सूत्रहस्ता च श्वेत चंदन चर्चिता श्वेत वीणाधरा शुभ्रा श्वेत अलंकार भूषिता. May all present here in this webinar are blessed by Goddess Saraswati. With this belief, I welcome and introduce our respected speaker, Mr. Sanjay M Prabhu.
Thank you.
Mr. Sanjay Prabhu, sir, he is an academic lecturer, cum trainer, Social Studies, UAE. He had been honored with Outstanding Contribution Award in E-Learning and Digital Transformation by EIBFS 2019 and Best Regional Banker Award at Axis Bank 2005. With excellent academic and professional qualifications with certification in banking and allied fields. So I request Prabhu sir to start with this contemporary issue, money laundering, and I also request all attendees to be ready for question answer session at the end of the webinar. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Aditi. I hope all of you can listen to me. I'm laudable.
Sanjay sir, you're most welcome.
Yes.
Sir.
Thank you. Hello.
Yes, sir. Clear.
Yes, clear? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Good morning and warm welcome to a session on money laundering in film industry and its impact on society. Before starting with this session, I would like to thank the Chancellor, the Vice Chancellor, the Dean and Heads of Department of Career Point University, Kota, Rajasthan. This session we are conducted on a request made by Dr. Subodh, who was my student in ICFAI University when I was teaching as a guest faculty. And the idea today to bring forward the impact on the society of money laundering is because presently I'm addressing all the youths who are present here. So, as a youth, as a student, you will be building the future of the nation going ahead. And when you are building your career, at the same time, you are building also bringing up the nation at the same time. So, here I would like to thank you all and let us start straight with the PowerPoint presentation. So the today's topic is money laundering in film industry and its impact on society. Before starting the real dialogue, let me start with a disclaimer. This webinar is meant for only academic knowledge only. I and we means the organizers do not intend to hurt the sentiments of any individuals, any film personality, industry, firm, community, sect, religion, government, or the country. The events, the characters, and firms depicted in this webinar are fictitious, and any resemblance to any person living or dead or to actual film industry is purely a coincidence. So, the learning outcome of today's webinar, we have four learning outcomes. The first is we'll be trying to understand what is money laundering, what are the different stages of money laundering, what is structuring, what are the methods involved in money laundering, how we can prevent the money laundering, and what are the recent cases which has developed in money laundering. The second learning outcome is we will try to learn what the money laundering impact on the society, and especially we'll be focusing today on a film industry. So when we speak about money laundering is not only in film industry. Money laundering is present everywhere. Okay, but the topic we have chosen film industry because it's a hot topic and lot of discussions happening after the death of Sushant Singh Rajput. So we have chosen this topic of money laundering in a film industry because all of us, especially the youth, is fascinated towards the film actors, the films, and they try to copy or impress upon others by following them. Okay, and third, we will be discussing about the impact of money laundering on the society as a whole. We'll be also looking at the global laws, that is, Financial Action Task Force has brought in some recommendations that also we'll be looking into, and we'll also be looking into the Indian laws, how to prevent the money laundering. And after learning these four outcomes, we'll be having a question answer session. So let me start with the crime. Money laundering starts with the crime, and the criminal industry is growing very fast. If you can see the PowerPoint presentation, drugs and trafficking that is leading this industry is generating 435 billions per year. This is the last 2 years back data. I don't have the recent data. Arms trafficking is another crime which is generating 60 billions per year. Human trafficking, which is generating 32 billions. And there are many other crimes which are happening in our society. So when such crime happens, the money is generated by the mafia. So how to use this money, whom I can use as a front person, that is what we are going to discuss today. So In case of human trafficking, the various human trafficking methods adopted is child abduction, human cage, forced prostitutions, forced labor, forced marriages, organ theft. Organ theft is one of the biggest crime happening today in the health industry. Selling babies, forced child beggars, trafficking the people from one country to another country for utilizing for various uh, things what I have quoted earlier. And if you are going to see, the organ theft is a big industry. Doctors, lawyers, government officials are involved in such crime. So idea is, if you can see this screen, on the screen it is shown that this is the old data. Again, its corneas are sold for US dollar 30,000, lungs are sold for $150,000, heart is sold for $130,000, liver is sold for $98,000, kidneys are sold for $62,000. Now, who are the people buying these parts? Definitely are rich countries. And who are the people who are selling it? The poor or underdeveloped countries. And this business is generating a lot of money. So this, because of this ill-generated money, there is a crime happening in the society. And we will try to understand what is money laundering. So we have seen the different crimes, and you can see on the screen on your left hand side corner, there is a criminal who does all these crimes of uh, all this crime of human being and animals trafficking, narcotics. He is also into terrorist financing. He is also into corruption and bribery. He is also printing counterfeit currencies also. He is also duplicating or piracy of film or the data which is available. Okay, so all these illegal things are done by one or many individuals coming together in our society. This person, we know that yes, Mr. X is doing this criminal activities. But X, when he does this criminal activities, he's generating a lot of money. And this money, if he goes and deposits into the bank tomorrow, the enforcement directorate, police, government will try and catch him and put him behind the bars. So in order to avoid all these things, he involves into a money laundering. So let us understand the definition of money laundering. Conversion or a transfer of property. In this case, the money which he has generated from all the wrongdoings, he wants to convert it into a property. So when he wants to convert this into a property, what he will do is he will try and place it into a financial institutions. And for doing this, he will not be doing it himself. He will be using some other people as a front. Now, who are those other people? Hotels, cinema houses. I will take you through a case in cinema house wherein a cinema house owner will try to involve, because it's a cash business, he will take the money from the criminals and try to show this as in he's selling the tickets to the public and generating an income. So the first idea is conversion. How to convert this money from wrongdoings in and bring it back into the mainstream business. So first is conversion and avoiding legal consequences. Second is concealment. Concealment is nothing but hiding the source of money. I will not show that this money is generated from a criminal activities. I will show this money as if it is generating from a legal genuine activities like your hotels and restaurants, or film industry. Okay. And the idea behind this hiding is again to avoid the criminal offenses. Third, I will route this money through various banking and non banking channels. And again, I will bring this money and start some other legal activities. So, money laundering consists of conversion, concealment, and acquisitions. So, while converting, what he does is he wants to place this money into the financial institutions. So there are three stages of money laundering. The first stage is placement. The money which is generated from the illegal activities, I will try and place it into the financial systems, that is your banks and non-banks. Then I will create a layers. Creating layers means moving this money through various channels. And what are those various channels? I will transfer this money into different branches of the same bank or different branches of a different banks. I will move this money from one product to another product, from a saving account to a current account, from current account to a insurance, from insurance to a mutual fund, from mutual fund to share market. I will try to create the layers. Why the criminals like to create a layers? The idea behind creating layers is it makes it difficult for the auditors or the investigating authorities from where this money has been generated. So a mafia will try to layer or create the layers by using the financial and non-banking financial systems. This money, once it is layered, moved through various banks, it becomes difficult for the investigating authorities from where this money has come. And this money is again integrated, means brought back into the system. So the mafia person, what he does, he places this money into the financial and non-banking financial systems. He creates the layers. Here, if you can see, the various layers created is transferring the money to the bank account. He will transfer not only the money within the country, but outside the country also. That is called as a wire transfer. He will move this money from one country to another country. Thirdly, what he will do is he will give a loans to companies or to Mr. X or Mr. Y, he will give a loan. Again, idea is to create layers, difficult to find from where the money is come. He will create a fake invoices. He will create a shell company and he will try to show that I am importing or exporting or selling the goods or providing the services. And he will create invoices and try to show that I have received this money through this. So the idea behind creating this layer is to avoid investigations. It becomes, because every investigation there is a cost, and when you create so many layers, it becomes very difficult for the investigating authorities to find from where this money has come. And once this purpose of layering is over, he tries to integrate this money. He tries to bring his money back to his own country or in another country and starts his either a business. He invests or buys the properties or invest in the real estates. He might buy a luxurious car or he might buy an helicopter or an aeroplane. This money is invested. So the idea behind all this is to hide the activities of the criminal. So the criminal has two goals. One, hide the source. The second, make more money from this source. So when he buys the real estate property, he will be renting it out or he will be selling it to another person and he will be making the money there also. Okay. So the idea behind money laundering is bringing in the money from all the illegal activities, placing into the financial systems, creating the layers, and integrating back into the mainstream. So while doing a money laundering, he does something called as a structuring. So what is structuring? Structuring is nothing but creating a smaller amount and depositing into various banks. Now let us say for 40,000, if I deposit this 40,000 in one bank account, and this money, it's coming from sale of drugs. If I deposit this money straight away into the bank account, the banks will report to the investigating authorities. Okay, that is called as a financial intelligence unit. We will come to that later. So that is under the central bank of every country, and this transaction will be investigated. So if a money launderer wants to avoid the investigation, what he does is he, using some other person, will open an account with bank A, bank B, bank C, and try to deposit some this amount out of this 40,000. He will try and deposit 9,000, 8,000. You can see the amount is different, but totaling up to 40,000. Why he does so? Because in order to show to the investigating authorities that this is a genuine transaction. But no, this is not the genuine transactions. So if you go to banks and try to deposit the cash, some banks have very strict rules, and they will avoid this deposits by a third person. They will say only the account holder should deposit, and the amount maximum allowed is 50,000. You need to provide the know your customer documents, then only they will allow. So this is one of the ways to structure the money laundered money into the financial system. There are many ways. We'll take only one. Now, there are many methods of money laundering. One is, nowadays we have electronic transfer of funds. Once the cash is deposited, within 5 minutes, I can transfer this money to different banks in different countries. Again, that is what we have discussed called as a layering. Nowadays, even I have access to transfer the funds to another country in my another bank account. That is, we use the correspondent banking arrangement. Okay, and I can transfer this money to another bank. Third, I will discuss is on private banking. Private banking is a banking for the high value net worth customers, very rich people. These people, not all, when I talk about the people here, not all people are involved into illegal activities. But yes, some people are involved into illegal activities, and they have a lot of money. They want the bank's officials to take this money, place it into the banking system or non-banking financial systems, okay, invest into various products and get back this money again. The three things what we have discussed: placement, layering, and integrations. So this is another very risky area in the banking industry, private banking, because banks wants the business, and when banks wants the business, they are actually, every banker is a gatekeeper, and the banks tries to hide many things because they are they feel that if I disclose all these things, I know everything. Private banker or a relationship manager of a private banker knows everything ins and outs about his customer. Either he is into drugs, either he is into human trafficking, okay, either he is into sale of arms and ammunition. He's aware, but he will not disclose this to the investigating authorities. Why? Because his bank will lose the business, and when his bank loses the business, his salary will be reduced, his promotion will be stopped, his bonus will be decreased, or he will not get a bonus. So these are the things which are involved. So knowingly, many people involve into the money laundering. We have also discussed about the structuring. We'll not go into all these more details because we have only 2 hours time. In this, we need to discuss many things. So remember that banking institutions, that is banks, commercial banks, which we call as a depository institutions, They also involved into money laundering, sometimes knowingly, sometimes unknowingly. Then we have non-banking financial institutions like money remitting companies, money exchange houses, insurance companies, or your security broker dealers. Okay, all these people, because if you want to buy an insurance policy, let us understand Mr. X is an criminal and he has lot of cash with him. What he will do, he will try and go and purchase a insurance policy. He Once he buys the insurance policy, there is a cooling period. Some insurance companies gives 30 days, some insurance companies gives 100 days. So during that period, if you don't want, you can cancel this policy. So he will take the insurance policy by giving the cash. After 30, 40 days, he will cancel this policy. And when this policy is cancelled, the insurance company will not give him the cash, but they will give him the check. His aim is of layering. He is successful now. He will transfer this check to another bank account, from there to another bank account, and he will try to create this layers. So another very important thing I would like to discuss here is bearer bonds or securities. In this, we will specifically discuss the electoral bonds. The electoral bonds, as per the Financial Action Task Force, is also a part of money laundering. I will give you a simple example. If I am a industrial house, I need some favor from the government. I am also into a criminal activities and I want to settle all my past scenes. What I can do is I can take this cash, create a layers, go and buy the bonds and give it to the government. So this is another very risky area. So non-banking financial institutions can also help in money laundering. Non-financial business and professions, gambling dealers, your notaries, accountants, auditors, okay, shell companies, export import houses, some of them are really involved into money laundering. I will give you one example of a notary, how he can help money laundering. Let us understand Mr. X has an account with the bank Y. He transfers or he deposits a cash of 20 lakhs. And he says that I have sold this property to Mr. So and so. But actually, he has not sold the property. He is creating a fake agreement. He notarizes this, he pays the money to a notary public, whatever he asks. This fake agreement is supported given to a bank as an evidence. Banker will always go with the proof. Yes, the notarized agreement is given to me. I am satisfied. But you are actually, if you are going to see, you are involved in money laundering. Tomorrow, the investigating authorities, if they find this agreement is notarized, is a fake one, even a banker will be caught and he will be put behind the bars. Chartered accountants, auditors, they know in and out of the company. They know from where this money is coming. They are called as gatekeepers. We'll discuss this more in detail in the coming slides. If they are also involved, they know all this and they are trying to hide and support this money laundering activities, they are also directly or indirectly involving into a crime. Okay, so the different method of money laundering is using banks and depository institutions. Second is non-banking financial institutions. And third is non-financial business and professions. Next, we'll be going to one of the high risk area in money laundering. These are the people who are, we need to be Very careful. And these are nothing, no one but politically exposed persons. So, politically exposed persons are the people who are working in the state government or the central government. They are the senior politicians, either presently elected or the past politicians, people working in the judiciary, that is the high court and supreme court and district court judges and their team, military officials, senior executives of the state owned corporations like public sector undertakings, okay, and including the political parties. They might be of domestic, that is Indians, or they might be a foreign politically exposed persons. So, whenever we are dealing with this politically exposed people, we need to be very careful. They are under the high risk. Okay. So, and mostly we have observed that these are the people who are also involved into money laundering. I have given you one example of electoral bonds earlier. Now I will show you one recent case which has happened in Kerala. You can see on your screen 180 kg via diplomatic channel, sources on Kerala gold smuggling case. Hawala money powered smuggling of golds through diplomatic channels, Enforcement Directorate. These are the two news appeared 1 month, it's in July 20th. Now let us understand what is diplomatic channels. People, employees working in, as a government employees in foreign embassies and consulates, they are called as diplomats. Okay, so when a diplomat from one country goes to the another country, his baggage is not screened, and he can bring anything and take anything out of the country. Very dangerous, very dangerous. And we have seen in this case 180 kg gold was brought in by a diplomat. You can see this lady who is there on the screen. She's a government official. So, 1 minute, give me just 1 minute. Okay, so this lady, along with others men, government officials, she has imported a gold and she was carrying the gold. We don't know how much earlier she has imported, but this was caught. This gold, importing gold through illegal sources is fine, but through smuggling, it is very bad to the economy. Why it is bad to the economy? Because we have seen earlier three things: placement, layering, and integration. Someone is using his illegal money to convert into a legal money. And these people, politically exposed people, they are supporting such events. As an academician, I have written it to the Financial Action Task Force that if you want to really interested in removing the money laundering, every country should be a transparent. They should, every diplomat should declare what is there. We should not hide all these things. Otherwise, we don't know. It will directly affect the country's economy. So this is one of the latest case which has happened in India. And we don't know how many such cases are happening. So once there is an illegally import of or a smuggling of gold happening, there might be something definitely going out of this country also to another country. So it is affecting both the countries, not only to the country which is importing, but other country. So when we talk about the effects on the economy, the government loses the tax revenue. I and you loses the job. Okay, so this is done through a hawala. Now let us understand what is hawala. Hawala is a movement of money, but without crossing the boundaries. Mr. A needs to make a payment to B. Mr. A is in one country and Mr. B is in another country. He wants to pay this money to this guy for his some underlining illegal transactions. So if he wants to make a payment to him, if he uses the banking channel, he will be caught. So there are illegal operators called as hawaldas. Okay, so this person hawaldar in country A will take the money from this person, this Mr. A, and inform to his counterparty in country B that I have received this money. You can pay this money to him. And for doing this, they will be earning a commission. So this means there is a separate parallel industry which is running and that is affecting the economy. Today, many people lose the job. There are many new jobs are not created. One of the reasons behind that is hawala transactions. I will take you to another case. This is not a money laundering case, but there are chances that you can create a money laundering cases like this by using a politically exposed persons. If you see, this is a news of November 2019. India to facilitate onion imports from Iran, Egypt, and Turkey. Okay. November 9th, there is a news which is coming in that we want to import. Why we want to import? Because the prices, there is a shortage of onion in our country and the prices has shoot up to 150 kgs, 50 per kg. So when there is a price of the commodities increases, that means there is a short supply. This short supply can be created. Artificial short supply can be created, and if a political party wants to support some industrialist to move his money from one country to another country, this is the best way of doing it. I don't say this transaction is money laundering, but I am giving you a hypothetical example as an academician. If I want to move the money from my X country to Y country, I will create a shortage of some commodity, prices will shoot up, the middleman will make a lot of income, but not the farmers, because farmers has already sold the crop to the middleman, they are holding it in their storages. And what I will do is, I will import some quantity, not the entire quantity. I will show you 11,000 tons, but I will actually import some small percentage. But the banks and the other government agencies, they deals with the documents. So a forged document will be coming from another country that we have exported this much onion or any other commodity. This commodity actually received is less, but the DGFT or any other authority in the country, they will give a certification that yes, customs will say that yes, we have received entire consignment. And this will be provided to the bank. Bank will transfer the money to another country. So the money moves from one country to another country using banking channels. And once the import happens, you can see this first message: imported onions wrought as local producers hits market in Bangalore. The imported onions, no one will be using. It will be thrown in the market. Because once this is small amount of onion is imported, immediately the locals, middlemans, they will release the stock of the goods, whether it's the onion or any other things. And no one will use this imported onions, because Indian onions is lot, there is a lot of demand for that. Okay, so this is one of the ways wherein we can be a party to the money laundering activities. That's why politically exposed person account is at high risk. And so whenever we are dealing with politically exposed person, we need to be very careful. So when I said, when I given you this example today, don't consider this as a money laundering. This is just an example given to you. This type of things has happened many times in the past. Okay, this might or might not be a money laundering, but this is the way of doing money laundering, wherein politically exposed person or a party is involved in doing such crimes because they want to support some of the business tycoons who are involved into illegal activities. Okay, I will come to a recent another news which has appeared just for 4 5 days back. Bank stocks hits as US FinCEN flags suspicious deals at most lenders. World over, the bank stocks have fallen. Okay, and why this has happened? Let us discuss this. Now, US FinCEN is an reporting authority under the US Treasury. Whenever I and you send money in dollars, that is routed through US. When I send or I receive the money in US dollars, it is routed through the US banks. And when a bank in India is not having a branch in US, we use correspondent bank as our facilitators. So when we use this banks, and when a banks in India deals with different banks to transfer the money abroad, sometimes bankers, as I said, knowingly or unknowingly, they involve into a money laundering. You can see this transactions. This is just transactions which are shown here. Some of the banks, this is the where Indian banks have been our originators. Indian banks have sent the money in US dollars to different banks in other countries. If you see the highest here, there is an IndusInd Bank which is transferring to HSBC. There are 55 transactions. The value is, this is in thousands. Okay, dollars. So when this money is moved to another country, and there is a tracking systems available nowadays, softwares are available, then the US Treasury Department, which we spoke just now, that is FinCEN, will throw away some transactions which are suspicious and involving illegal activities. This requires further investigations. So when such transactions are shown to the public, the image of the bank drops in the eyes of the customers, and it has a direct impact on the financial industry and specifically banks and the country as well. Here there is another slide which I am showing you on the screen, that is of Indian banks have been the beneficiaries. Money is coming from other countries and this has been received by the banks in India for their customers. Again, if you see then the highest number of transactions, it has coming from Standard Chartered Bank to Axis Bank. Okay. Now, if the originator is involved into money laundering and he's transferring this money into India, he might transfer as an investment into the share market, or he might invest in any other business. Okay. So any money coming or going outside the country and that is generated from the illegal activities is bad for both the countries. And the reputation of both the countries, the reputation of the banks of both the countries is affected. So Idea behind showing you this news line again is banks sometimes knowingly or unknowingly involves themselves into the financial crimes. Now we will come to our gatekeepers. Gatekeepers are the people like notaries, lawyers, accountants, auditors, investment advisors, trust and company service providers. Whenever they are dealing with the customers, they know in and out of the customers from where this money is generated. It's their duty as a gatekeeper to ask this question. Let us say I am a chartered accountant and someone comes to me and says that, yes, I have this much millions of dollars with me. And my activities, for me, that is a front as in hotel or restaurant. But my back end activities are involving into drugs, supplying or trafficking, human trafficking. Okay. And he goes to the chartered accountant. Chartered accountant says, don't worry, I have a connection with this bank. I will open your bank account. We'll do all the papers for you and we'll make it all legal. The chartered accountant is himself putting himself into a problem. Under the global laws, he will be called as an willful blindness. Okay? And forget about the Indian government, even a foreign government can prosecute an accountant or auditors if you are involved into money laundering. So any tomorrow today you are students of bachelors of commerce or a management or a law. Tomorrow you will be employed. You will be having a professional qualifications. Okay. Idea behind sharing you all this information is be careful. Don't involve yourself into illegal activities just for a small sake of amount for your comfort. Because once you involve yourself into such activities, your all next generation will be forced to enter into such type of things, illegal things. And you might be making some money, but again, after some period, you will be realizing that you are done something wrong, not only to you, but your entire family, to your next generation, and not only to your family and generation, but to the entire society and the country and the economy. So don't involve into such activities just for the sake of money. There are many ways to make the money. And I'm telling you, you can make money in a sincere way. Now we will come to the recommendations which are created. There are 40 recommendations which have been created by a financial action task force, which is a French association of group 7 countries. Okay, the French name for that is Group the Action Financiering. Okay, idea behind developing this group, this has been developed in the year 1989 by the group 7 countries, that is France, Germany, Italy, Japan, United States, United Kingdom, Canada. Okay, and its headquarters is in Paris. India is also one of the signatories to the FATF. There are 37 countries who have signed and they are the members, and many more are joining this. What is their role? What they recommend? They say the first recommendation is when financial institutions should understand and undertake customer due diligence measures. Whenever a customer comes to you, now I might be an advocate, I might be an notary, I might be a chartered accountant, I might be a banker. Whenever customer comes to you, you need to do more inquiry. Find out what is his business relationships. See if his line of activity is matching. with the funds what he is receiving. Let us say I have a small restaurant. If you see in that restaurant, no one is coming, but every day I go and deposit 70, 80,000 of cash in my bank account. Do I really do the business? So, customer due diligence includes finding out the business relationship, carrying out occasional transactions. If anyone comes and deposits suddenly a large amount, I am a salarized person, I am getting X amount as a salary. Let us say, for example, I am just receiving my salary of 20,000 per month. Suddenly I come and deposit $90,000 in my account. Banker should be a suspicious. His capacity is only 20,000. How he has received 90,000 in his account? Okay, so banker should find out. It might be a genuine transaction because I might have sold some property. I might have sold my car. Might be anything. But as a banker, as a gatekeeper, you should always try and find out and make inquiry the source of funds. Okay, so first is due diligence. And when you are more suspicious, like if it is a politically exposed person, you should do enhanced due diligence. Enhanced due diligence means monitoring him more frequently, going and visiting his place and finding out really if he has such type of activities, genuine activities is or legal activities are happening at that place, and can he generate that much monthly revenue for his business. Otherwise you should be a suspicious, and this suspicious transactions you need to report to the central bank. Okay, there are two types of reports which are sent by the all the banks to the central bank. One is cash transactions and another is suspicious transactions. Okay, so every transaction you do with the banks, that is reported, and when something goes wrong, that is tracked to find out the trail of from where the money is coming. So how we identify the customer? One is through the documents. I will take Aadhaar card, or I will take a passport, I will take his ration card, or I will take his any documents which is legally allowed by the country, okay, government. And that document should have two things: your photo to identify that you are so and so, your name, your signature also, then your address also. Okay, so these are the things which are required to identify yourself. But just identifying on the paper is not sufficient. And while identifying, you should not just take a notarized copy. As I told you earlier, notary can just stamp and sign and give it to you, even a fake documents. You need to identify with the original documents also. So when a customer comes to you with just a notarized document, you should also ask him to get your originals also and verify it. If you have any doubts, you can go through the website of the registering authority and check it. You can write it to them. So as an banker or as an employee of an organization, you can save yourself by taking up proactive measures. You can write to the concerned authority to find out whether this document is genuine or not. So tomorrow they will tell you that this document is fake, then you are protecting yourself, saying that yes, I made an inquiry. So you are safe yourself, you are making yourself a safe place to work. Okay, so customer due diligence, one is with the documents, and another very important thing is you need to go and visit. You means as a banker or as a teller, you will not be able to go and visit that person's business place or residence. But yes, your relationship manager can definitely visit that place and find out whether he is really doing that business or not. Through the transactions also, sitting in your office, you can do ongoing due diligence. Next recommendation of the Financial Action Task Force is keep the documents 5 years minimum. Whatever transactions you do, you keep those records with yourself. Nowadays, the rules are more stricter because you will see that but there is a fire in bank's head office. All the documents are destroyed. Sorry, you need to keep it in a digital records. Next, do a enhanced due diligence regarding a politically exposed person. If a politically exposed person comes to you to open an account, don't open it straight away. Take an approval from your seniors, from your compliance team or a branch manager, depending on policy. Okay. And then only after doing a due diligence, accept the custom, because all politically exposed persons are not into illegal activities. Some of them, but you need to be careful. We have seen one example earlier of the diplomat. Next is reporting suspicious transactions. I told you there are two. One is cash transactions and another is suspicious transactions. Both needs to be reported to the FIU, that is Financial Intelligence Unit of your country. And this data is shared with the another countries also. So there is a cooperation between, because we have seen in that earlier screen, one bank is sending the money to another bank. If X country's bank is sending the money to Y country's bank, then yes, if I want to investigate, I need to share this data of my customer to that country's investigating authorities. So there is a cooperation from both the sides. Okay. So next is Financial Action Task Force says that there is a risk. There is a risk for everyone. There is a risk for the financial institution. There is a risk for your country. There is a risk for the citizens of your country also. First is a reputation risk. When a bank or a country or an individual involved into any illegal activities, and when it is reported into the media, there is an adverse publicity. People lose the confidence in that specific bank. People lose the confidence in that particular individual or a gatekeeper. People lose the confidence in that country. So the other nationalities will try to avoid you. They will not like to do business with you. Good banks will not involve into doing business with other banks. Good customers, sincere customers will stop banking with such banks. And when I speak about banks, even there was one recent case of selling art, paintings like MF Hussain painting, selling it for crores of rupees by one politically exposed person to another businessman or a banker. Definitely, there are chances of involvement into money laundering. So such reputational risk brings down the image of the financial institution, country, and the gatekeepers. And it will be difficult for them to again raise their standards. Second is concentration risk. Sometimes banks, especially the top management, in order to encourage the business, they give the impossible targets to their bank employees. We want to double our business. We want to double our profits within 18 months. Is it really possible? No. If you want to double your business within 18 months, then definitely you are forcing your employees to bring in all illegal business to your bank. When you bring this all illegal business into the banking, definitely you will suffer the reputational risk one day. Something will expose, your bank's name will be involved into that, and it will pull down the image. There will be a legal risk also. When we talk about the legal risk, some countries or some banks will file a case against your bank. So you need to hire an advocate to represent your bank in another country. They will put a fine on you. So this type of things will bring down the reputation of the bank. Operational risk. When we talk about the operational risk is the bank or the country does not have internal processes. They have inadequate or no internal processes. Employees doesn't know what to do. When the target is given, they will go and get the business. They will get the business of the drug people involved into the drugs. They will go and take the business of people who are involved into human trafficking. They will take the business of the uh, people who are involved into arms and ammunition. You have seen it's $1 billion industry. So if I want to get a business in a shortcut way, and that is the possibility I can increase my profits. And the persons are promoted very fast. But this type of promotion, this type of revenue generation or an increase in salary or a bonus is harmful not only to the organization but to the employees also. In the eyes of general public, they will see you as a criminal. So my suggestion to all my young academicians and the students who are listening this webinar, don't involve yourself into illegal activities. This will give you enjoyment for a very short period. The pains of such things will be immense and you will not be able to come out of this. You will go into depression, and when you go into depression, you will again try to consume drugs and try to help again to the mafias who are operating a drug business. Okay, so this is all about money laundering. Now I will come to the straight away because we have very limited time. Just give me 2 seconds. We have very limited time, so there are some specific suggestions to you. When you start joining some employer, your employer also wants to know the employee, and employee should also must try and understand the employer and his colleagues. What he needs to know: the background, the conflict of interest, and suspicion on money laundering. Let us say one employer is giving me an excellent offer of, let us say, I'll pay you $50,000, come to my company and join. Immediately, the question mark comes in my mind is what type of activity my employer will be doing. Whether he can really afford to pay 50,000 salary to me per month. So as an employer, I should be aware. Same way, employer also does the scrutiny of the employee. Good organizations, they have a good image. They don't want to spoil the reputation because of wrong employee coming into the organizations. So if an employee who is already into a drug business, who is already a defaulter, or he is already involved into any crime, and he wants to join a good organization will find a background search about him and they will not take him. Because they will face all the risk which we have discussed. And one of the very important risk is the reputation risk. Once your reputation is brought down, again gaining that reputation is difficult. So tomorrow, when you join any organization, if you come across any unethical activities, either your organization is doing, either your colleagues are involved into, you have some good organization, they bring in employees hotlines. You can report to them. We call it as a whistleblower protection. Under that, once you inform to the concerned management of the organization, they will take an action against such employees who are involved into. But if the management themselves is involved into, then they will take action against the you. So be careful, keep your eyes open, eyes and ears open, and work for your employer. Okay. Now let us come to our hot topic on money laundering in film industry. So when I speak about money laundering in film industry, let me again tell you all that only film industry is not involved into money laundering, but all industries there are chances of involving into money laundering. Sometimes they are doing knowingly, sometimes they are doing unknowingly, but we should be aware about how they do the money laundering. And today our point of discussion in money laundering in film industry is how the money from the illegal activities is brought into the film industry and the black money is converted into a white. So you can see on the left hand side, this is the criminal person. When I say criminal, he is involved into various illegal activities. He has generated a lot of money either into cash or through some uh, other sources, like it might be a gold or it might be from properties or it might be from investment in shares, different ways. Okay. Now, if he has money with him and he wants to convert into, we have learned earlier, placement, layering, and integration. The criminal's idea is to place this money into the banking or into the film industry and convert into white by creating a layering. While creating these layers, he involves everyone. He will be involving a producer, he will be involving a director, he will be involving a cast, that is an actor, actress, or a supporting actress. He will be also involving the owners of the cinema house or the distributors, and he will be achieving his agenda of converting this black money into a white money. Okay, let us take Mr. X is a criminal. He has 100 millions with him and he wants to convert into a white money. He will catch a producer. He says, you create one movie, I will give you the money, I will give you 100 million. You already, as a producer, you already have some money with you. You put your 20 million and convert my 100 millions into white money. So this guy gives him 100 millions to the producer. Producer does the same thing with the actors. He says, my dear friend actor X, actor Y, I will give you 10 million for this movie. Out of this 10 million, I will give you 2 millions in official account transfer and 8 millions I will give you into cash. Again, earlier only producer was involved. Now actor is also involved. Some actors, what they will do, this 8 lakhs cash, what they have received, they will also try to create layers. I have earlier spoken about the Hawala agents or Hawaldars we have spoken. He will find out who is the Hawala agent in my area. And he will catch that Hawala agent. He will give this 8 million cash to this Hawala agent and he will ask this person to give me the same cash in another country, in another country's bank account. You might have heard the names of many actors, many politicians in Panama Papers, Swiss Leaks, Paradise Papers. These are all nothing but money invested by politicians, money invested by actors, but the source of money is from the criminal activities. Actor is not a criminal, he is doing his job, but he is paid through the source of criminal activities. So he is knowingly or unknowingly involved into a criminal activity. So when he is involved into criminal activities, some actors, they will transfer the money, they will buy the real estate in another country, they will open accounts. Some foreign banks are, for example, some foreign banks operating in India, they will also, if you go and do a Google search, you will find some foreign banks, their name are involved into money launderings. They will take the cash from you. They will route this cash through their internal account, like suspense account or reconciliation, internal reconciliation accounts, and they will move this money to their foreign branch and they will open an account to you with you. Some actors or some producers, they will start a business in their home country itself. They know that drugs is an excellent business. Let me invest this money in the drugs and create more money because it is fastest growing industry. If I give this 8 millions to a drug peddler or a drug supplier, he can give me 16 millions within a 1 year, 100% returns. Yes. So our producers, not all, when I say our, not all, again, there are some sincere producers, there are sincere actors who does everything in a systematic way. They are always taking official money through official accounts. They are not involved, but there are certain actors, producers, and again, one more thing happens. When one actor or one producer refuses to take this black money, he is sidelined. He will not be given any further movies, or he will not be taken as an actor in his future movies. That's why some actors are forced to take such type of money and involve themselves. So it is a big gang of people. You cannot, once you enter into this, you will not be able to come out of this. So you need to be very careful. We have seen now, after the death of Sushant Singh Rajput, we have seen many things are coming out. So we need to be, you will earn the money, but you will not have a peace of mind. Enforcement director, narcotics department will harass you. They will call you again and again. They will make inquiry against you. Okay? And unnecessary, knowingly or unknowingly, you will involve yourself into this crime. Some of the industries, if they want to convert their black money, they will catch some producers and ask him to create some low budget film, low budget flop film. And when such flop film is created, people doesn't watch. But the gatekeepers, the accountants, chartered accountants, lawyers, they do all the documentation to show that this money which has been generated is from the legal sources. I will take you to another area of money laundering in film industry, how it can be done. Okay, let us say KKLJ is the movie. Listen to me carefully. KKLG is the movie which is running for 25 years in one cinema theater called as Shiva Mandir, in one location. Can you tell me anyone will look for the same movie for 25 years? Why a person should, I might be a fan, I might watch this movie maximum 5 or 10 times. Why I should watch this movie for, why these people should go and invest into watching this movie for 25 years? Because there are many new movies are coming. What can be an agenda? Is it a money laundering? Yes, possibilities are there. How it can be? Just take for example, just a 20 rupees per ticket. The capacity of that cinema hall is 1000 people. Let us take for example only 500. We are taking only 50% of the capacity utilizations. So 500 people into 20 per year. So for 25 years, you will generate a revenue of 8 to 10 crores by just showing one show. You might not show the actual show because there will be no viewers. You will just, for the namesake, you will say that yes, I am running this. So in the eyes of the public, we feel that yes, this film has created a record. It has been shown for 25 years into this cinema. But there are chances, there are chances that money laundering is one angle, because when the cinema halls major is cash. So a person, the cinema hall owner, can very well convert his black money into a white money, someone's black money into a white money. Again, I'm telling you, don't link this to another cinema. This is just an example I have given to you. Idea is to make you aware, because you all are students, this type of criminal things you will face coming forward. Okay, so the last area is how it impacts I and you. When there is a crime, the reputation of the country is at risk. Private players will try and capture government organizations, public sector undertakings. Private players, when they are powerful, when they have a lot of money from illegal activities, they will try to influence politically exposed persons and try them to sell the public sector undertakings. They will bid for a higher amount because they can afford, they have a lot of money with them. So once the control of the government undertakings is given to the private undertakings, definitely they will have an opportunity to do more money laundering. There is a business which is available readily. In that, I will do 40% sincere business, 60% I will do money laundering business, and I will be a leader. Secondly, the financial institution, because of this type of things, I told you earlier, I have given you an example. These employees will be forced to do illegal things, knowingly or unknowingly. When the target is given double to you, definitely you will do a lot of illegal activities. So financial system will be weakened. There will be reputation loss for the banks. Then the banks will be forced to give loans to illegal activities. There will be some front, they will not pay the loans. This becomes an NPA. The banks will be forced to merge with another banks. This will create a big problem for the economy. Loss of tax revenues to the government, loss of employment, the social cost. Young people who have just passed or will be passed out, they will not get the jobs. They will get frustrated. They will join the illegal activities like drug sellings, okay, or human trafficking. So these are all problems created due to I and you supporting, knowingly or unknowingly, money laundering activities. So let us be an alert citizen and try to bring forward what we know to the right authorities. Whether they take the actions or not, this is not our issue. But yes, we need to discuss, we need to share all the information to the right authorities. Yes, will be forced to, some people will try to take an action against you. But again, we should all do all this in order to take care of our family members, take care of our next generation. Okay. If you see, another biggest problem is of money laundering is inequality. This is the old data 3 years back. Okay. If you see here, 1% of the richest India is contributing, or wealth is distributed among the 51%. 51% of the wealth is with 1% of the richest. Now, what I understand from present figures is it is approximately 60 to 65% of the country's wealth, which is with the top 1%. And 4.7% of the country's wealth is 60% poor people. So if the poor people or the middle class people wants to grow, what we need to do? We need to involve ourselves into day-to-day legal activities and not illegal activities. So once any empire involves into an illegal activities, definitely they will be a giant and will not be able to take any action against such people. So only our behavior in supporting legal activities will bring the अच्छे दिन to our society. So in order to prevent money laundering, the Indian government also has brought a law in 2002 to prevent and control the money laundering. If any person found in money laundering, they can seize or confiscate their money or properties can be seized. There is a rigorous imprisonment for 3 years to 7 years when any person is involved into money laundering. Next, if there is a money laundering and there is a link of narcotics or drugs involvement, this punishment is increased from 7 years to 10 years. The attached property, the government can attach the property for first 180 days. They need to prove that, yes, this person is involved into criminal activity. That's why we have seized his property or bank account. If they cannot prove within 180 days, they have no right to continue to hold that property. So with this, I thank you all for listening to my session, and let us go to the last one session is questions and answers. If you have any questions, answer, let me discuss those things.
I request the attendees to please ask questions if you are having. Sir is available with us. Please, any questions, any doubts, if you are having, you are most welcome. The audience. So one question I have received from the audience part, like they are basically asking about that can anti-money laundering effectively stop crime leveraging the cryptocurrency? They are asking that.
Yes.
Can
Yes, definitely.
anti-money laundering effectively stop crime leveraging cryptocurrency?
Yeah, you can hear me? Yes. Cryptocurrency is another way to hide the money from the illegal activities. So cryptocurrency is a virtual currency which is transferred by the drug mafia or all from all illegal activities you can. So if you see the Central Bank of India, uh, the late finance minister Jaitley has clearly mentioned that it is a source for generating illegal money. Okay, and this illegal money will be placed into the financial institutions through cryptocurrency. Okay, so it is at the moment many countries are trying to avoid such things, but some countries have also adopted. So it's an idea of placement, layering, and integration. So identifying the source and end use of the funds is very difficult. So it's a very high risk area. So investing in cryptocurrency, if anyone wants to invest in crypto money in cryptocurrency, At the moment, avoid, because the government has not made it legal. If anyone is knowingly or unknowingly involving into cryptocurrency, tomorrow the government or investigation agencies can ask you from what is the source, where is the end use of the fund. So be careful about it. Don't involve yourself unless the law has been created and it has been made legal. Okay. Any other things?
Yes, sir. One more question is there from the audience side. Is there any fundamental difference between individual money laundering and business money laundering?
Okay. Individual money laundering is, I told you, most of the gatekeepers, hawaldars, hawala agents, they are involved. Okay. Some people, even individuals also, they will be involved into the money laundering because he gets a small percentage of commission. Okay, that commission was small, means a 5% or 2%, that is a big money. And when you do such volume of business, you are involving. I will give you one example of Panwala shop. Panwala shop is an proprietorship or as an individual doing a pan business. How much his daily collection can be? 1,000 maximum, 2,000. But he might be a front for someone. Daily, he might be depositing a cash of around 10,000, 8,000 in his bank account. That means he is supporting someone. Just doing a business from pan, he will not be making a lot of money. But from doing illegal activities, he will be doing a lot of money. So even in industries also, I will give you one example that when I was a banker,
Thank
okay, when I was a banker, I was handling export import bills. One of the exporters, I was in Goa, and we have sent a bill, export bill, for collection to one country. And this amount, he was every 50 days he was coming with a export bills. And the money, when I sent an export bill for 50,000 US dollars, I should get 50,000 US dollars from bank or one financial institution in another country. But I was getting 20,000 from one money changer, 30,000 from another money changer. So it created an suspicion in my mind. I went and approached my branch manager. I told him that, see, we are sending a bills for 50,000. We should get 50,000 or in 20 or 30,000 from one bank through which we have sent. But we are not getting this money from one bank, but we are getting from the money exchanges. So my branch head said, don't worry, I know this person. Don't worry about it. Suddenly one day, the investigating team came to my bank. When they arrived, they say that there is an inquiry against this person because, hello, yeah, because there is an inquiry against this person because he was
thank you,
doing
sir.
what. Yeah, we'll finish it off because he was exporting something and taking a duty drawback. He was involved into the money laundering. Okay, so the idea here is we need to do a due diligence before handling any customer's business. Okay, any others? That's
Thank
all
you,
from
sir.
my
You
side.
have
If you have
really
any
explained
questions.
very properly. Might be very nice, sir. Both the
Take your time.
questions, the audience are very grateful to you that you answered in a very fantastic way. I would like to really thank you, sir, for your knowledgeable and wonderful session indeed. Thanks for being here with all of us. And we all are highly privileged, not only our Career Point University team, but also the audience, the academicians, the researchers, and the students. Definitely, we wish you all the best for your future, sir.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thank you very
much
much.
for being
Thank you. Thank you.
here with us.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I would like to thank you to all attendees who have devoted their time during the morning hours to be the part of this webinar on this good contemporary issue. And definitely, we have to maintain ethics also, because without ethics, without that good corporate governance system, we the workplace also. And definitely, if ethics will be starting from the workplace, it will definitely reach to the society also. Thank you all. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much,
Thank you. Thank you.
sir.